Turkey's foreign ministry has again summoned the Russian ambassador to discuss a second violation of its airspace by Russian jets. Ankara says Russian planes carrying out airstrikes in Syria crossed into its territory over the southern province of Hatay on Sunday. NATO is condemning the incursions and has called on Moscow to stop attacking Western-backed opposition groups in Syria. Rory Challens has more.
This is the latest Russian Defense Ministry footage of its planes returning from airstrikes in Syria. The grainy, silent, black and white blooms of light are, or so we're being told, bombs successfully hitting targets near Homs, near Idlib and in Jizr al-Shagur. Unsurprisingly, what we haven't seen footage of yet is the violation on Saturday of Turkish airspace by Russian warplanes, an incident Moscow has put down to bad weather. Turkey summoned Russia's ambassador in Ankara to protest.
What we have received from Russia this morning is that this was a mistake, that they respect Turkey's borders and this will not happen again. Turkey's rules of engagement apply to all planes, be they Syrian, Russian or from elsewhere. Turkey's armed forces are very clearly instructed.
Diplomatic language from the Prime Minister, but the implication was clear. Russian planes could be shot down if they repeat their mistake. The language from NATO was blunter. Turkey is a member of the alliance, and the ambassadors for 28 NATO countries were assembled for an extraordinary meeting on Monday. This is an excerpt from their written statement. Allies strongly protest these violations of Turkish sovereign airspace and condemn these incursions into and violations of NATO airspace. Allies also note the extreme danger of such irresponsible behaviour. They call on the Russian Federation to cease and desist and immediately explain these violations. NATO also said Russian planes should stop attacking Syrian opposition fighters and civilians and focus on fighting ISIL, a criticism of Russia's general role in Syria, not just the Turkish airspace incident. But Moscow doesn't make the same distinctions as the West. While Washington and its regional allies have been equipping and training groups they see as more moderate alternatives to ISIL, Russia's leadership just sees the whole lot as terrorists. And Moscow says it's prepared to protect its ally Bashar al-Assad against all his enemies. The skies above Syria are increasingly crowded. The US, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Canada, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Jordan and Bahrain have all flown sorties in recent months. Russia's foreign minister has suggested cooperation with the United States on their bombing missions.
We spoke about the need in the near future for additional direct contacts between the militaries. Our American colleagues promised to give quick answers to these offers. I think that soon we should receive this.
Without cooperation, the risk of a serious confrontation only increases. But unless the US-led coalition or Russia compromises on its Syrian objectives, it's difficult to see how they can stay out of each other's way. Rory Challens, Al Jazeera, Moscow.
Meanwhile, various Syrian rebel groups are forming an alliance after 6 days of Russian airstrikes. 41 groups, including the powerful Ahrar al-Sham and some Free Syrian Army units, have labelled Russian actions in Syria as an act of occupation. They're calling on regional states to support a united front against Russian and Iranian forces fighting on behalf of the Assad regime. And Syrian activists say government forces continue to drop barrel bombs on Daraya, a suburb of the capital Damascus. Helicopters are reported to have dropped 14 barrel bombs on Monday.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.